In this demo, we'll illustrate how the new, tighter integration of Elements.Cloud with Copado CI/CD can enhance the effectiveness of business analysts, release managers, and developers. The Elements.Cloud Change Intelligence platform combines the power of process mapping, metadata discovery, and dependency analysis to allow business analysts to better assess the scope and impact of changes much earlier, before development starts. In this scenario, we've created a story in Elements.Cloud to update the sales process. The business analyst has determined that the opportunity stage name field needs to be updated as part of this story, and has already associated the metadata for that field with the Elements.Cloud story. Clicking on the DevOps tab shows us that there is no Copado user story associated with our Elements.Cloud story, and the stage name metadata that the BA associated with the story is showing as uncommitted. With the new Elements integration, we can actually create a Copado user story directly from Elements. Each Copado user story must be associated with a Copado project. So Elements has created a new Copado user story, number 46, in the Copado CI/CD org. We can see that it's been created in a draft status and has not yet been assigned to a development environment. From Elements, we can go directly to the Copado user story. And here we are in Copado CI/CD, the user story with the Elements right side panel exposed. As a developer, when my Copado user story is connected to an Elements.Cloud story, I get the full power of Elements.Cloud impact analysis without leaving my user story. So here we are in the Copado user story. With the Elements Chrome extension installed, if a Copado user story is associated with an Elements story, then the developer from Copado can see all of the relevant Elements information directly from the Copado user story. With the new bidirectional integration, updates to a user story's status and environment are sent back to Elements.Cloud and update the Elements.Cloud user story. These environment changes are also sent back whenever a user story progresses through the release pipeline. And here you can see that both the status and environment for the Elements.Cloud story have been updated. As a reminder, the analyst had already associated the stage name field with this story. If there were multiple metadata items, they could also be associated. From here, we can open the Elements.Cloud dependency tree for the stage name field. Dependencies are organized by type. Here we see there are 31 flow dependencies, which can be further expanded. In this example, hovering over the flow dependency reveals where the stage name is used in the flow, which can be very valuable to the developer in trying to understand impact. As a reminder, this still shows up as uncommitted because we haven't actually made any changes. So let's assume that the developer now has made changes to the stage name field, and we're ready to commit those changes. And once the commit is complete, we can go back and look at our DevOps tab, and now we see that the stage name is moved from the uncommitted category up to committed. So a release manager, a business analyst can track the progress of metadata as well as the progress of the story as the story moves through the pipeline. The integration supports connecting multiple Copado user stories to a single Elements user story. Here we've added a second story, number 47, which has added an email template that also needs to be updated as part of the sales process change. Here in the committed metadata, you can see the new email template. So the committed metadata section is a consolidated list of all of the metadata from all of the Copado user stories that have been committed. Finally, we'll show how Elements handles conflict management. I've created a second user story that's going to update the sales commission process, and the business analyst for that story has determined that we also need to make some change to the opportunity stage name field. From the conflict management tab, you can see that the stage name field is also being updated in element story number 41, which is the first story from this demo. And if I were a Copado developer, I would be able to see this same conflict information in my Copado user story number 48, which has been created from this element story. Even though I haven't committed any metadata yet, I would be aware of conflicts that may be happening elsewhere in the organization. Even if an analyst has not pre-associated metadata with a story, as a developer, if I know that I need to make changes to the stage name field, I can go to Salesforce Setup and go to the stage field. And because I have the Elements Chrome extension installed, I get information in the right panel, which would allow me to go to the dependency tree and see all of my dependencies from Elements here. We've seen how the new integration between Elements.Cloud and Copado CI/CD delivers the full power of Elements.Cloud metadata dependency analysis directly to developers from within the Copado user story. We've also seen how business analysts and release managers can leverage the integration to get better visibility to user stories and metadata as they progress through the pipeline. And all of these users can get earlier notifications of potential metadata change conflicts.